Let's get this out of the way. If sheer willpower truly worked, my snack drawer would not look like a crime scene today. We like to think we're in charge of every craving, masters of our own domains. But addiction? That's just bad choices and weak character, right? In this video, we'll unpack the popular belief that beating addiction is all about willpower. I'll show you why that myth isn't just wrong, it's harmful. We'll dive into what addiction really is, how brains get hijacked, and what this means for anyone fighting it, with helpful insights from science and real lives. The myth and why we believe it. Almost everyone's heard the myth. If they cared enough, they'd stop. It's their fault. They just have to choose better. All it takes is some good, old-fashioned self-control. There's a weird comfort in believing addiction only happens to other people, and if it did strike, we'd just say no and walk away. But if having your life destroyed were an effective treatment, addiction would cure itself pretty fast. Yet, millions keep struggling, despite losing jobs, families, health, and more. The truth? Addiction doesn't care if you're stubborn as a mule or organized enough to alphabetize your cereal. It can trap anyone. Believing it's about willpower is like blaming the steering wheel when the brakes suddenly disappear. It's the wrong part of the car. How addiction actually works. Here's where science steps in. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, addiction isn't a character flaw. It's a chronic, treatable medical condition involving complex changes in the brain. When someone keeps using drugs, alcohol, or even behaviors like gambling, those substances hijack the brain's reward system. The same one that's supposed to help us survive by making good things like food, connection, and success feel satisfying. But drugs and some behaviors light up those reward circuits like over-caffeinated fireworks, flooding the brain with dopamine. Over time, the brain slams on the brakes, cutting down its own ability to feel pleasure, even from things you once loved. That's why quitting isn't just about saying no. The brain actually craves the drug simply to feel normal. Genetics, stress, trauma, environment, and mental health struggles can all make someone more vulnerable. Picture trying to swim upstream with a backpack full of rocks, while everyone on shore yells, "Just swim harder!" Not super helpful. And, wouldn't pass any lifeguard test. Why willpower isn't enough. The story gets tougher. For many, stopping use isn't even the hardest part. Staying stopped is. Withdrawal isn't just feeling a little sad or restless. It can hammer you with anxiety, shakes, vomiting, crushing fatigue, sweats, and bone-deep cravings. The kind no motivational poster can fix. Your brain and body scream for relief. According to Shatterproof, those changes in the brain can last for months or years, making relapse heartbreakingly common. Blaming willpower for relapse is like yelling at a marathon runner to keep sprinting after their shoes are on fire. The hurdles aren't just motivation, they're biological and psychological landmines. It's not just substances, behaviors too. Let's widen the lens. Substances aren't the only culprits. Gambling, gaming, even compulsive eating can trigger similar circuits in the brain. The common thread? A compulsive, hard-to-control urge, despite negative consequences. Addiction isn't about badness. It's about a brain system that's been wired to prioritize the wrong thing at the expense of everything else. So, what actually helps? If tough love and pep talks rarely work alone, what does? Science points to a few essentials. Medical support. Sometimes medication helps rebalance the brain, lessen cravings, or ease withdrawal. Therapy, especially cognitive behavioral therapies, which teach new habits and ways to cope with triggers. Community, connection is a lifeline. Supportive friends, family, and non-judgmental peers can make all the difference. Seriously, We need more cheerleaders and fewer finger-wagers. Addressing the why. Tackling underlying depression, anxiety, trauma, loneliness, or stress can loosen addiction's grip. It's never just about more willpower. Check out detailed, people-centered explanations from Stanford Medicine's Insights blog and Shatterproof's breakdown of effective treatments for more. So, let's kill the stereotype. Addiction is not a moral failing or the result of laziness. It's a real medical challenge that changes the way brains work, sometimes in ways you'd never suspect unless you've lived it. Compassion isn't just kinder, it's smarter. If you or someone you know is facing this, know it's not about being weak. It's about fighting a battle most people can't see, and no one can win alone.